But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach. And you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
There you have it. There you have it, man. Terrence Howard says he does not bend over in that way. Now, we all know Terrence Howard as a great actor and a polarizing figure off camera, right? He says some wild things sometimes. He says some stuff that goes over a lot of people's head, and sometimes he says some stuff that people believe is just downright crazy. But he's on the PBD podcast, and I guess somehow the whole Diddy situation came up, and he gave his take on it. Just basically saying that a lot of people in these industries, Hollywood, music industry, they will try to get you to do things that go against your morals, and those things come with benefits, right? They come with maybe acting roles, maybe placements on albums, or just career advancement in whatever lane you're in. And there are some of these guys in these industries that are, they're predators, man. They're predators. They will take advantage of people if they get the opportunity to, for sure. As far as what he's saying about Diddy, I think he just recently got some more charges put on him too as well. I think like yesterday or today, there were more charges put on Diddy. To me, just looking through like everything I've seen about his case so far, it's hard for me to tell what exactly that he's being charged with beyond like the Cassie thing, because he has a RICO charge, but he's the only man in the RICO case. We all know that he's not the best person, but you can't be jailed for being a bad person. You have to be jailed for committing crimes, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what else the feds actually have on Diddy, and, if they're going to have people like Terrence Howard, people that have seen things, people that are accusing other people of been in situations where Diddy was involved, if they're gonna be a part of this case too, right? But as far as Terrence, I can't say he's wrong here. He's definitely speaking on how us as men, we need to stand on our morals and stand on our principles. Now, if you just feel like you were already that way and you already had a little bit of zest in your chest, that's a whole different situation, right? It was already your sexuality. But stepping outside of your sexuality for career gain and things like that, I don't think that's what you should do, right? I don't think that's what anybody should do, man or woman. And it happens to both, right? We get women that, they might have been a little bit more modest, a little bit more prude, but, they get in situations where they feel like if they do something, then, something will be promised to them. Then, hey, they might be a little bit more open to things. And us as humans, us as people, us as adults, we got to understand that a lot of times that stuff is not worth it. It's not worth the long-term damage it's going to do to your mental health. We see all these people on drugs trying to cope with who they are as a person and things they've done in their past. And a lot of times it's hard for them to seek help because they feel like if they tell somebody, then their secret's out, right? And like we see these vague interviews, like they mentioned Justin Bieber. We've seen Justin Bieber say he's protecting Billie Eilish because he doesn't want her to go through what he had to go through and things like that. So, shout out to Terrence Howard. This is another example of him just standing on what he believes in, even though some of the things he says does seem a little bit crazy to us sometimes. Right here in this moment, I think he hit the nail right on the head, man. In a lot of these industries, there are people that will try to take advantage of other people. And, it's just up to you to be strong. If you are in music, you want to be an actor, you got to know you're going to be dealing with some shady characters. There's going to be alcohol around. There's going to be drugs around. It's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to mess yourself up. But let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. As always, love y'all. I'm out.